Hi everyone, welcome to the shack for this weekend update. The weather, as usual, is as is usual for the past week or two. It's rubbish. Fairly mild, but it's been raining. It's grey and overcast, and generally not that pleasant, but not windy, which is good. This weekend, I'm going to try and do something on 6 meters. I actually made my first sideband contact on 6 a few days ago, and I was about to say nothing to get excited about, but my friend Jeff M0UHF might not appreciate that. So it was actually him I spoke to there was a contest last week on 6. And I was tuning around, and well, some of you will have seen the reception video. I bumped into him chatting to John G6 LNU, and then when they finished their conversation, I kind of butted in. Now I don't know whether it's because I'm too close. Jeff's literally 12 miles down the road, but we did manage to work each other. I don't think either of us could hear the other fantastically well, but well enough to be. Certainly well enough to be understood. So anyway, so this weekend I'm going to try and make a few more contacts. I'm hearing stations. This is the FT8 frequency, and this morning that's the only thing I can hear. The band seems dead. What's interesting is that with the antenna I'm using, which is obviously, there you go. With the antenna I'm using, the end-fed, I'm sort of hearing, quite often I'm hearing, which is directional of course, I'm sort of hearing one side of the conversation when I'm listening in to stations calling. Occasionally you hear both sides of the conversation, but quite often you only hear one side. But this isn't really the right, an optimum antenna, but it does work. And again, I recorded a couple of reception videos of exactly that. An Italian station who was very strong actually, so I'm assuming that he's using a beam and he was pointing it in my direction. And did hear one or two of the other sides of his conversations, and then an M0 station who was portable. He was also strong. He was in Hertfordshire, I think, and I posted his video, and he actually he obviously looks for his own call sign on YouTube, I suppose, and found it and sent a message, which was really nice. So anyway, so I'm going to try and do something on 6 meters this weekend, make some more sideband contacts, but not today. So anyway, so I've tuned up and down the band, and as you can hear, it's dead. So to demonstrate the power of FT8, he says, I'm going to open WSJTX. This is PSK reporter, so basically that's here we go. I've already got the radio connected, and you'll see that it immediately, okay, so it's gone on to 2, so let's go on to 6. Right, now we have to adjust the bandwidth. No, it's okay. And then and let's, what power am I using? Turn the music. Okay, 75 watts. So I can't hear anything at all on voice. Is there anything being heard on FT8? Well, I have heard some FT8 signals this morning, but let's see if anything. Can't hear anything on the AF. Band scope. No, not much activity. Okay. Let's try the band scope again. No. Let's start transmitting anyway. There you go. Watch the reverse power needle, you see. So even though we're operating at 50 megahertz with using this ATU to match my end-fed wire, you can see the reflected power is all very, very, very low. So we're transmitting, and in a minute I'll have a look at PSK Reporter and we'll see what happens. And hopefully it won't take very long for my signal to be reported somewhere. Let's just see how. I haven't actually checked the band status. So literally nothing coming in at all. And normally on 6, when the band conditions are good, the left-hand screen is filling up with signals, but I'm hearing absolutely nothing at all, apart from the odd FT8 signal on the AF on the radio. No, here we go. Right, who's that? That is M0DDT, Mike 0 Delta Delta Tango, 12 kilometers away. So conditions really are not very good at all. I did hear a station just then. You know what? Oh, there you go. A couple more. I've heard my signal. G0, Golf 0, Golf, Golf, Golf. Do you know what? For a second there I thought that was Golf 0, Golf, Lima Golf, which is Hamish. Who's that? G4BRK. So that's someone in the club, I think. And G0 Delta Yankee Whiskey. So I'm getting out towards Luton. Down into, well, south of, I don't know where that is. Is that Hampshire? I don't know, my UK geography is terrible. Right, let's go back again. I don't suppose, so I'm not hearing anything. I'm broadcasting or transmitting with 75 watts and I'm sort of getting out there. So, but the band is basically dead as a dodo. As I said, if the band was in good shape, this would be filling up with signals. So there you go. So let's go back to PSK Reporter, and my signal would be copied, down into southern Italy. I can hear a station calling now, actually. So this is the thing. So with FT8, even when a band is completely dead, and even if you're not copying any stations at all, which I'm not, so this is really, really terrible band performance. It still gives you something to do, because you can just transmit and track it on PSK Reporter, and if you carry on long enough, the conditions will change, and then you'll be heard, and then you'll probably work a station. So FT8 is one of those things that can still be interesting, even when conditions are absolutely abysmal, as they are right now. So there you go. Nope, there we go. Who's that? G0 Bravo Bravo Bravo. So anyway, yeah, so I'm going to be doing I'm trying to do work some stations on sideband on 6 meters over the weekend, although if conditions stay like this, I won't have much of a chance. I used this radio actually on the midweek sked a couple of days ago, and it was fine. I'd normally either use the Kenwood or the Icom. The Kenwood obviously with a couple of 100 watts, but I was in a bit of a rush, so I didn't get a chance. I didn't have a time to swap my antenna over, so I ended up using the Yaesu with 100 watts, which was fine. Everybody could copy me, no problem, apart from Jack, I think it was, who was struggling. And what was interesting though was the comment on the audio. Everyone sort of said the audio's fine on this Yaesu, but not as pleasant to listen to as the Icom. So, and I don't know whether that's because there's a myriad of audio settings with this 991, some of which I probably never touched. The Icom audio settings is much more straightforward, so it might be just a function of that. But yeah, everybody was, everybody was sort of said the audio was fine on this radio. This is on 80 meters, but it was better with the ICOM and easier listen apparently. So yeah, if anyone's actually used the 991 or got one and has sort of regularly been complimented on their audio, if you drop me in the comments on this video, yeah, maybe you can give me sort of some idea as to what your settings are. That would be good, because there are so many. I'm almost too lazy to even start, to be honest with you, start playing with it. And I don't really use this radio very much for sideband anyway. But if someone's got a list of settings that equals good audio, I would be interested. So I'm going to do that. The other thing I did was I agreed with Ron Likens to record the medium wave band on the night of the summer solstice, and embarrassingly, I sort of didn't get around to it. So what I did was I recorded the band 3 or 4 times the next night, so the night after the summer solstice, and I haven't analysed those recordings yet. But I could hear VOCM quite clearly during the recordings, and I could hear winds and 1010 in Toronto mixing. So and I could also hear Granada on 1.4 megahertz. So there, even though we're really in the height of summer, transatlantic DX is out there, so I'll analyse the recordings and see what I can find. As you probably remember, I did this last year. I actually stayed up till like 4 a.m. and recorded the station sort of manually, which I wasn't prepared to do this year. So I'll analyse those recordings over the weekend probably, and post anything good. I might also run some more recordings. The thing with recording medium wave band is that setting up the recording is easy. It's finding the time to analyse. It can take quite a long time just to analyse one recording, particularly if there are sort of several signals that you want to capture. Can you see the noise being generated on? Actually, no, it's not actually. That's interesting. So I thought this noise was due to my FT8 transmitting. That it shouldn't really be very noisy, because obviously I'm transmitting on 50 megahertz, so it's just local. Just update PSK reporter. So there you go. So PSK, I've been transmitting now for a few minutes, and you can see, so that's the shape of the band. I'm sort of being heard out towards sort of North London, down in below Bath. So yeah, terrible band conditions, but even though the band looks pretty dead with FT8, you know, there's always, it just gives you that option. So yeah, not hearing anything at all. So there you go. Other things this weekend, obviously there's the Saturday afternoon SCED, 2 meter simplex SCED on 145.4125, and then there's the GB3 DI net on Sunday, which last weekend we did, and it was an absolute disaster because most of us that live outside of Didcot or beyond Abingdon just couldn't get in, and there was a bit of a discussion as to whether it was conditions or something wrong with the repeater again. I think probably it was conditions, because I've had a situation here where I've been able to get in absolutely no problem at all, and then literally not been able to get in at all. So I think it was probably conditions, but yeah, I guess we'll find out on Sunday. So that's the other thing I'm going to be doing. So still transmitting on FT8, and still getting out there into southern England only. So, oh, just crossing over into Wales there. So there you go. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for joining me in the shack for this update. I'm still trying to get around all the comments. So, and I do appreciate those comments. Sometimes you're only going to get a thumbs up depending on how busy I am, but I do read every comment. So, and I will endeavour to answer at least some of them. And I appreciate you guys. You know, I appreciate your interaction on the channel. Without you guys, it couldn't happen. So I do appreciate that. Okay, well, I wish you all a great weekend. Thanks for watching. Do something with the radio. Keep safe. And 73.